Okay, Rob, a year on, or give or take a few weeks, a year on from our first trip to the Stade de France. Very fortunate to be heading back, albeit for slightly separate, slightly different schedules, weekends. But we'll both be at the France South Africa game this weekend. So I guess yeah, number one, having been before, what are you looking forward to most aside from the match itself?
I am looking forward to the. I think going with because I'm going with a non-rugby fan. I think the pre-game show. So like to show to someone that this is okay. I think like you don't have to be a rugby fan to appreciate that pre-game light show, the anthems, that sort of thing. I think that for anyone that is interested in stuff, I think you're probably you can appreciate that. I think
Yeah, that's fair.
really I'm looking forward to shitloads of Jet Van Set on in the street party afterwards. But there we go.
Very good.
There's my diplomatic answer is the pre-game. What about you, Richard?
Well, I'm also looking forward to that. Although last year we were slightly spoiled with that kind of spotlit hacker, which
Yeah,
was incredibly cool. What I'm looking forward to is, well, France have just, I think as of today, they've just released a new kit range. So there's a new
yeah.
shirt, new training kit, which is sort of like a purpley, like grey purple, which I'm not
They've been
entirely
wearing
enamored
that
by.
recently. Yeah,
I'll be honest. But they have introduced an unbelievable like retro long sleeve,
yeah.
which is straight out the top drawer, and I hazard a guess might be quite hard to come by because I don't think
Yeah.
that's going to be hanging around for very long. So I'm looking forward to the
I've already seen a
fruitless.
photo of Anton Dupont, and then it's next to, I think, Emile Entamac. So it's like a proper, it's very, very similar to one of the classics from like the mid 90s that France were like the Blanco Seller
Yeah, you'll
era.
recognise it as soon as you see
Yeah.
it. It's pretty iconic. So yeah, I'm looking forward to a fruitless attempt to get my hands on one of those.
How
Uh,
much is it? Do you know?
€80.
Is it? That's actually a
Yeah.
steal.
Well, I don't know about steel, but I'd
But
say it's
I was
pretty
expecting
given
150.
given the price of some of the stuff
Yeah.
these in this modern world. I would say that seems fair.
Because
Um,
that sky blue round neck jumper last year was like 80 or 90 euros. The
okay,
one that was glorious. And I was like, that is, and then like the prices, I was just like, I can't justify that. Whereas
yeah,
the jersey is like, that's a proper bit of kit, that
yeah. Assuming
rather
that's
than
like a
just a
nice,
jumper.
nice chunky cotton. Who knows? Yeah, that side. I mean, it looks brilliant, but we'll see if we can get get our mitts on one of those. France South Africa, first time two sides have met, I think, since the World Cup. Don't think anyone's mentioned that at all in the build up to this game. Um, but
What
yeah, it
happened in
should
that
be.
game? Is Quagga
Yeah,
Smith playing with his invisible hands again?
I don't know. I actually watched back some of it the other day because when I did watch it, it was, I mean, one, it was 2 years ago, and two, it was in a pub, and I sort of, yeah, it was as difficult as it was for the French. It was quite a remarkable game,
Yeah.
and actually, I think some of the prevailing narrative since are maybe not quite as accurate, and I think it just was a ridiculously high standard game with a few things that went like one way rather than the other, and actually, like I saw someone saying that Mathieu Jalibert couldn't have been worse. He was excellent, bar that amazing slice. And the South African scrum was brilliant, but it wasn't quite as overpowering as say it was in that 2019 final
Yeah.
against England. Yeah, interesting. But for France, we spoke at length a week or two ago about the squad, and I don't think there've been too many surprises since then, with one exception, which is that obviously Gregory Aldrit was released back to his club. We mentioned him playing for for La Rochelle this weekend just then, which I think we both said that we probably wouldn't have had him as the starting eight for this one. But that no part of me did not think. Well, I'd say no part of me didn't think he'd be involved. There was no part of me that thought Gautier wouldn't have him at eight.
Yeah,
So it's a big call because he's been well. He was captain, wasn't he? After obviously the Pont got injured in the Six Nations, he's been the most permanent fixture, I'd say, in that 15 for the last 4 or 5 years. And it's a massive call. So I don't know if you've got any kind of thoughts on that. And I think you said you've seen a little bit of the what they're maybe
it's
looking
a,
at for the
it's a
23.
midi Olympique probables, which is normally quite real, quite accurate. Um, Adotio or Gross. That's got to be Gross,
I
surely.
would have thought so.
Marchand, Regis Montagne. Second row of Flamont and Miarthu. The back row is Boudon, Gelanche, Guillard.
Yeah,
The scrum half is split. It's either Legaric or Luku. Entamac at 10. Fiku and Barassi in the centres. Bielbiere, Peno, Ramos. And then the bench is Cramon at hooker, and then the other one of Baptiste Adosio Gross, Aldeguiri at tight head, Oradu, Talfa Fanua, Jegu, Legaric or Luku, and Deportes. So it's 6-2. I would like to see Deportes starting, but other than that, I
yeah,
think Gross should start, and I would personally like to see Luku start,
yeah, yeah. I think I'd agree with
even
all of
though he's
those.
not got much game time under his belt. I'm surprised Jegu's not starting, but I'm perfectly happy with that back row.
Yeah, I think Boudon is pretty much he feels like the nailed on man, doesn't he? Like regardless. And then I
Yeah,
mean we spoke about him before. Guillard was I thought amazing at eight during the series against the All Blacks. And Jelonch has been feels like back to somewhere near his best this season and the back end of last because he had some horrible injuries.
yeah.
So I don't think any of that's. I mean, well, none of it's too surprising at all, is it? Um, big, big Roman Tau carries on a few games. I guess when you're
So he's like
sort of
he
that
seems to get
big,
injured in every game as well. Like, I don't know
I
how he's
do.
doing it.
Yeah, he does. He seems to be injured, and then sort of, basically just gives him a breather for the next week. So he comes back and goes hell for leather for 25 minutes, which I guess is probably what they're looking for here. But yeah, I think after that kind of initial squad, that feels sort of, I'll say, with the exception of Aldrit, the yeah, the I suppose as we felt it might go. One bit of the news that came out a couple of days ago, which I think is, I don't know how much of a difference this makes, but one of the big positions going in that has felt like a problem for France has been at tight head, right? And Montagne and Aldegueri, it's not perfect. But
No,
apparently Oxen Che is out for like a pretty extended period of time. Who has probably been what the most dominant scrummager in, or certainly loosehead scrummager for quite some time. So I don't know whether there's a little psychological thing involved there that could be good for the French. Um, yeah, I don't know too much about this South African team. I'm really excited to see Sasha at 10.
I'd barely seen him because he doesn't. The games I've seen for the Stormers, he doesn't play.
Yeah, he's played
Um,
it. They
he's
took
not
him to
played much
this.
Champions Cup.
They took him to the Scarlets like 2 weeks ago, and they beat
Oh
them
yeah, I
like
did see
40
that. Yeah,
nil
yeah.
at Parky Scarlets, which was felt a bit unfair. But I did see a decent chunk of that. The sort of not burst onto the scene, but maybe the affirmation game against Argentina, where he scored 37 points on his own, which is pretty outrageous, including a hat trick. So yeah, incredibly excited to see him against Roman Ntamack, who's been in fantastic form as well.
Has been in really good form.
Um,
And we should say, if you're new to listening to this podcast, me certainly, and Rich, you slightly to a lesser extent, have been Entomac skeptic in the past. And he has been, I think he has been brilliant. Um, I've got slightly annoyed, and not because I think this should happen, but I thought I was going to give you an outrageous call a couple of weeks ago. midweek was going to get one of the many random chain of like stream of consciousness messages that you get from me during the week, Richard. I was going to say I'm not ruling out Oridu at 7 for France, which it feels like I'm not saying it should happen, but it just feels very Gaultier to have
Yeah,
like a work rate, unbelievable line out athlete at 7, who's not like is the complete antithesis of like what English people would think of a 7, or I guess like South Africans would think of an open side flanker, a 6 in South Africa. Like he's the antithesis of like Quacker Smith, isn't he? Or like
yeah.
Heinrich Brosseau back in the day, or Schalkberger. Like, yeah. Now I know what you're thinking, Richard. There is one newer face in that starting lineup, in the France squad. Who's which player in that France squad has in that team that I've just read out has the fewest amount of caps?
In the starting 15,
Yeah, just
uh,
mentioned him with respect to Oxenche.
Montaigne.
What now? I know you want to know more about Regis Montaigne, don't you?
Go on.
Well, I can tell you. What do you think his nickname is? And I'll give you a clue. It's not Hall of Mirrors George Martin, which is our nickname for him.
And it's not just the mountain.
No,
Okay. Regis, Reggie Cray, niche.
his nickname is the Panda.
The
Uh,
panda.
the Panda, yeah,
It's not very threatening, is it?
because because he was having trouble sleeping and had to take naps during the
Oh
day.
my god. Oh my
um,
god. That's a shame. The ox, the
the
ox
Ox,
against
yeah, the
a
Panda.
snoozing panda.
Um, So it sounds like he's a bit of a character from the little profile I read on Midi
Okay.
Olympique. Steve Blanc-Paz, former Grenoble stalwart, used to laugh at his looks, and apparently he wasn't rated at Grenoble for a while. People thought it was quite funny when he left to join the top 14, but he's kind of always backed himself, and it was kind of like I kind of there's like a really there's a few like famous examples of this, but like the bloke that's like always backs himself, and everyone's like, yeah, sure, mate, give it a rest. Turns out he's actually quite good. He loves investing in gadgets. So a physio once
Okay.
told him that the best investment that he can invest in is to invest in himself, and therefore has
Okay.
kind of looks after himself very. So he's got all the like physio gadgets. When he
The
moved to Clermont, the first thing,
Theraguns.
yeah, first thing he did was install a gym at his home. Now, what did the Panda used to do as his job when he was in the Espoirs at Grenoble?
What is in like an actual job, not like
He supplemented his Espoirs salary with an actual job.
um
He
was
had to get up
he
early to do it.
did he work in a bakery or something like that? Like
He was a he was a truck driver for wholesale deliveries.
really?
Yeah, I think from what I can gather, like delivering like fruits and veg, like going to like Smithfield Market sort of thing and
Oh
picking up all
wow.
the fruit and veg and driving it around. He did get the nickname the truck driver, and he could name the make, model, and name of passing trucks. Apparently, more recently, he's been investing in not just himself. He's been investing in cryptocurrency. And apparently, Barnaby Massa was getting his ear chewed off the other day by Regis Montagna talking about how he'd been listening to Warren Buffett about the price of gold versus the price of Bitcoin.
Oh wow.
It sounds like I've made the entirety of the last 5 minutes up, but that is from an article in Midi Olympique in Rugby
So
Rama.
it sounds like you sort of like asked for like I need asked ChatGPT for a sort of rounded view of a characterful modern French prop.
Yeah,
Like yeah, did a wholesome job, likes a bit of crypto, bit weird, snoozes.
yeah. Could you give me an obscure nickname? Panda.
The panda. Wow. Well, I look
Um,
forward to seeing the panda in the flesh, and maybe next week we can yeah, we can dissect the panda's performance. Fantastic. Um, cult status is incoming.
um, but Richard, who Who's going to win?
Oh, I think South Africa are going to win. It's my honest thought. I think having played a lot more together in the last few months, I think that's massive. Um, Maybe by a score. I would love to see because I think, obviously for the sort of putting to bed the wrongs of a couple of years ago, it'd be amazing to be there when France win. I think the South African side it seems a little bit more settled, maybe a little bit more in form, and perhaps maybe with the exception of Che missing slightly fewer of their very biggest hitters. But yeah, I don't know. What do you reckon?
I'm inclined to agree with you. I think my gut is saying South Africa win. Um, just feel, and this is a bit of a cliche, just feels that like their the last couple of years, like under Razzie Erasmus, it just feels like if they try something weird, it just works. Like, they like with the whole setting up a line out in the middle of the field effectively last year, or like it's now like Esterhazen at flanker, and it just seems everything seems to like work no matter what they do. So, and I think France just aren't at the level of like that synchronicity at the moment because they won't be, and
Yeah,
they
I'd agree
won't
with
have
that.
because Luku's not got much game time. They've not got Dupont. The centres they don't quite know their best combination. As good as Fiku is, um, and I think it's good that he's captain. I think that helps a lot. But um, yeah, and like the form that Entamac and Ramos. That's the thing. Like I think if guys like Entamac, Ramos, BLBRA, they are their match with Peno. Like Peno's been a bit crap recently, but with BLBRA or Ramos and Entamac, it feels like oh, you're kind of hoping that they have a good day and it pulls something off. And I think if you're in that level of like hoping our best players have a stormer, you're Scotland basically. I've been there, um,
Yeah,
in the big games, it quite often doesn't lead to something glorious.
yeah, we'll see. Really, I'm really interested to see it though, and I think if we look at it's obviously a while back now, but like France's performance against Ireland in the Six Nations, and maybe Ireland aren't quite as strong as we thought at that point, but that if they can get there's a big R somewhere near that performance, I think that'll cause enormous issues. Um, and I do think the Unche thing, only going to play a half, but maybe slightly less dominant at the scrum than perhaps anticipated. But yeah,
Yeah, they've
when
been trying a
it's on
few new
skates,
faces, haven't they? Like
South Africa have bled in a few guys recently.
in the front row.
Yeah, yeah, they've had I can't remember the lad who's been called up now, who is like 150 kilos.
Oh,
He
yeah,
played for the Barbars the other week.
yeah,
Yeah, I don't know what he's like. It'd be cool to see him play. But yeah, I feel like a few of these guys are coming in and like proper duck to water stuff as well. Like
yeah,
Ethan Hooker has looked amazing the bits I've seen, and you mentioned it there, like Esther Hayes, obviously been around for ages, but feels like he's like becoming a bit less the bridesmaid in that South Africa team.
yeah.
As an Exeter fan who watched him just murder Chiefs on a million occasions playing for Harlequins. Yeah, always sends a bit of a shiver down the spine that name. Cool. I think all we can do, Rob, is try and get one of those shirts, look forward to it, and hope we get out of the country through the passport control thing,
Yeah,
or
and
not,
have watched Jet Van Set.
as it went last year. Yeah, Jet Van Set, definitely.